Motivation often dwindles. Discipline and consistency are key, but the missing ingredient is the intensity, because you can be consistent and disciplined in minor things or in things that aren't really producing results. You can think you're making a huge, kind of impact in your world and in your life because you're consistently doing something, but it's the intensity behind what you're actually doing that's what's going to make the biggest change. Your intensity happens before the intentionality can really take place, because the intensity is kind of like you're all in, you're a gazelle, you're pushing forward, you've got that one goal, you are determined to do it, to get in shape, get out of debt, get your home in order. And so the intensity needs to be ultra focused on that one area, that one plan, that one thing. And then what happens is the intentionality starts kicking in, and you intentionally carry those same behaviorals. You know what to look for, you know what to do. It's almost like you've reached that level to now you're maintaining it. And when you're maintaining it, it's an intentional process, because you're shifting the focus a little bit, because it's not as aggressive, but it's still focused and intentional. You need to be aggressive when you get started. You need to be all in. People need to be like, oh man, she's obsessed, he's obsessed. They've just lost it. They're not doing the same things. They're not going out to eat anymore. They're not, because you need that fire, you need that stirring, you need that it is an aggressive stance instead of a passive stance. Otherwise, you will be the same person six months from now. What you do today is going to determine who you are in the near future, 6 to 12 months. What you eat consistently every day in the next week will determine how you feel. So you have to be all in on it. I know some people who like to do a little at a time, and that's great, because I do believe progress is progress. But if you can turn up the intensity on whatever it is that you're working towards and whatever it is that you're really desiring, if you can just say, okay, I am all in on this one thing, no more compromise, no more tolerating, I am not going to play small, I'm not going to do this. Now, I'm not talking about playing big like gambling, I'm going to gamble it all away and win. No, it has to be a measurable outcome in a positive direction, not reckless. You don't want to be recklessly aggressive, so intense that you just drove off a cliff. It needs to be a measurable thing that you are bringing yourself or your family into a type of freedom, away from poverty and into freedom, away from limited mindset into abundant mindset. And all of these things take action. It's the thought, the decision, but then the action. So the action needs to be intensely going in that direction that you want to go. The blinders on, it's focused action, and whatever isn't lining up with that is, just it's not lining up in this season. This, by me going out to eat, if you're in a season where you're really trying to get in shape and build muscle and lean, you're not going out to eat. You're just not doing it unless you're getting food, meal services that are calorie and the macros are calculated and everything for your specific body. That's different. But I'm talking about, you're not going to Cheesecake Factory and eating. You're not doing that because you're focused on the goal. So the intensity is required for you to get to that goal quicker. You can make it take 6 months or a year or 3 months. You can make it take 10 years, depending on how I'm gonna just go and I'm kind of doing it, I'm kind of not, I'm kind of in, I'm kind of out, I'm okay. You have to be hot. You got to be all in. You can't be this lukewarm. Well, yeah, I'm kind of there, I'm kind of not. Go all in. And who cares what people are going to say? Who cares what people are going to judge, they're going to prod, they're going to poke, they're going to have an opinion no matter what you choose to do or not to do. They are going to say something. It doesn't matter. It's your life. Stop letting other people's, most of the time it's coming from a lower level of thinking or jealousy or whatever, their misunderstanding. Don't let that deter you from reaching your goals. You got to be willing to do whatever it takes in that season to get those results, because it is past that. You're going to get to a point where you're going to reach like this barrier. Bob Proctor used to call it the terror barrier. So basically you're going along, and all of a sudden you reach this part where you're like, I can't push through anymore. I can't do it. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. It's almost like a plateau, or it's a fake wall is really what it is, because you're still holding on to things of the past. But when you break through that, what you want is on the other side of that. When you push through that, and that's where you're like, I'm busting through. You're pushing through that. Then the result in the blessing in the life is on the other side of that. You get to enjoy, and then you're like, this is it. I've never been able to experience this because I've never gone past this point, always stopping and pulling back, always retreating back into the comfort area or whatever. So you've never allowed yourself to reach that type of freedom. People don't know the type of freedom they can live in if they've never experienced it. Like, you don't know the weight of your clutter and what it's doing to your life and the people in your house. Listen to me. You don't realize the weight of it until you've let it go. You don't realize the weight of waking up with joints and not breathing well, and you don't feel good and you're not sleeping good until you actually start feeling good, sleeping good. You can walk, you can run, your joints don't ache. You don't realize it because we end up tolerating these things and they become the normal. Well, this is my life. This is how it is. This is how it's always been. This is how I was raised. And so many people bring that up. This is how I was raised. Yeah, well, you're 40 now. So at some point you have to take you have to be the one to change and say, well, just because it was this way doesn't mean I'm going to do it this way. And I'm going to do it the same way as it's always been. I had to take that stance with my family and say, you know what, my lineage had so much distorted thinking, so much chaos. They thought they were always right. Everybody involved in everybody's business, so much gossiping, shop, clutter, you're in debt. Like, everything was just this victim. It was horrible. And I thought, I'm not going to raise my kids in that. Well, I had to put up boundaries, and those boundaries meant there had to be distance between. I couldn't live around the same corner as that person. I couldn't be around them. I needed distance between so I could work on my behavioral patterns so they didn't get instilled in my kids. If you don't break those generational things, your kids will adapt to them. They will adopt that way of thinking. So the behavioral patterns, if you're going to move, make sure you're not just moving to create the same thinking. You have to let go of the old ways also, the old thinking, the old wineskin. So the behavioral patterns need to change if your physical location is changing as well. It can't just be, oh, I'm moving, but I'm bringing all my same problems with me. Oh, I've decluttered all this stuff, but now I'm shopping and doing the same thing, and I'm bringing more in, because then you're creating this cycle. The behavioral pattern needs to change. So you have to have that type of intensity when you're going towards your goals, when you're focused. This is why you got to be locked in on what is it? What is it that, because some people are like, I don't even know where to start. What do I need? Well, you better get focused on it and get some truth. The truth is in basically the results. That's the easiest way I can ever describe it, is just take a look at the results. Do you like how you look? Do you like how you feel? Do you like where you live? Do you like your day-to-day? Do you like your relationships? Do you like the way your home looks? Do you like and take an honest look, because I had to take an honest look at, I enjoyed shopping so much that I didn't look at the results it was giving me. It was until I started looking at the results and saying, I don't like this debt, I don't like this high interest, I don't like living in this place, I don't like having a garage packed with stuff that I can't park my car in it, I don't like constantly digging through stuff, I don't like having to buy more bins to organize my stuff, I don't like staying up late scrolling and shopping because some influencer told me I needed this bath mat or this silly coffee bong or whatever the new gadget was. And then I'd be like, yeah, oh, I do need that. And I'd fill with, I'd wake up in the morning and be like, I need to return this. Or as soon as it comes, I'm shipping it back. It was like the clarity had gone at night. Don't scroll and shop at night. Wait till the morning. And now there's a new trend going on where women are like, my late night Amazon random haul. Like, that's the thing across there. My late night Amazon haul of random things I bought. And they got all these boxes. It's like, whatever. I'm sleeping while you're shopping. I'm sleeping, and maybe it's just a gimmick. Don't fall for it. Focus on what you need to do. Focus with the intensity. Who cares what people are gonna say? You're gonna make people upset anyways. No one's ever gonna be so happy with you, and if they are, I always feel like if everybody loves you, something's wrong, because I ruffle feathers all the time. I'm like, well, I'm speaking truth. That ruffles feathers. People don't like it. People challenge me on it. I'm like, well, focus. All I'm doing is trying to guide in a truthful way that can help you get to some type of freedom. If you don't want the freedom, don't listen. If you don't want to change, don't listen. No one's going to force you. Stay stuck. And I was that person years ago. 15, maybe it was like 10 or 11 years ago. Somebody wanted to invite me to do Dave Ramsey's financial piece, and I gave him all these reasons why I couldn't, and this and that, and we have these businesses, and we've got money going out, and there was no, and really all I was doing was justifying my behavioral patterns in my life at the time, and I didn't want to do it. And now I'm doing it. 10 years later, now I think, man, I should have taken that invite. But I was so, and now you may not like him as a person, but I'm willing to learn things that I haven't learned. And despite the personality, I'm willing to learn those things because I want to win. So I'm putting my ego and my pride aside to win. And I'm willing to do what it takes. And that's the other thing. If you're not willing to, I tell people, if you're not willing to have a year of nothing, living not just frugal, but really tightening things up. We don't have a car right now. I'm not interested in having car debt right now. We specifically live in a place where we can walk everywhere. And if we do need something, we can Waymo. If you don't know what that is, it's a driverless car or Uber, whatever. But God provides. And I'm just not at that point where I'm like, I want to take a big car loan. I started doing calculations with the loan and the gas and the maintenance and the registration out here in Arizona. I'm like, why don't we just live in a location? It's beautiful all year round and we can walk. And then we're getting exercise. We're close to everything. We get grocery delivery. So are you willing to do those things, is what I'm saying, to get to where you want to be in the future? It's not forever. A year goes by so fast. If you can get that intensity in that year, you can transform and change your whole life. You can change how you look, how you feel, your finances, all of it. If you just go all in that year. You take multiple jobs. My husband's doing multiple jobs right now. We're all in. We are all in. It's things that you have to say as a family, we're not tolerating this life or this way of living anymore. We want better. We want better for our kids. So we're going to pull back right now. We don't do lavish vacations. That comes down the road. I know people who get in debt to go to Disney, and I think it's the most ridiculous thing. I just saw a bird eat a rock. It just swallowed a pebble. Anyways, don't get into debt to go on Disney. Don't get into debt to go on vacation. If you're building a business, make sure that business produces, and then take the profits from that business and build another business. Don't get into debt to grow your businesses. And these are things that I didn't think about before. I was like, oh yeah, leverage other people's money. Put your money in the bank and leverage the debt. But you know what? All that does is keep you in bondage. I don't want to be in bondage anymore. I don't want this anymore. I want freedom. I want to pay cash for what I want. And if I do get into debt, it has to be a measurable thing that I can easily do without needing other people to come in and rescue me, where I can easily obtain or say, okay, I've got money coming in 2 weeks. I can get this now because it's going to benefit now or whatever. So you have to measure that opportunity or measure the situation. But that's a whole nother, I'm not a financial advisor by any means, please. I'm just saying what I'm learning and what's working for me. So get intense about what it is that you want. If you're going to start working out, you got to be all in. You got to change the eating. I have a video where I showed I worked out. I was still walking every day. I was still lifting weights, but my eating was junk. And I looked like junk. I was puffy everywhere. I wasn't losing weight. My body fat was still high. I'm like, man, I'm working out all the time. You got to be all in, because I was only half in. Well, you have to say, okay, I'm all in. The second time around, I was all in. I did it the right way. I did the protein. I had a trainer that was formulating, what I needed. I kept it really simple. I didn't buy extras. I only got what we needed. It was very simple: protein and carbs and some, fats, healthy fats like avocado, not, ice cream. I couldn't have any ice cream during that time, but I was all in because I wanted the results. And in 90 days, I looked totally different. Puffiness went away. Inflammation went away. I was sleeping. My hormones had balance. My muscles were popping out. I mean, I was like, what's this, a vein on my arm? I never saw a vein on my arm. I mean, I was like, I'm getting ripped. This is amazing. It's so much harder for a woman than it is for a man. I personally think, because our bodies go through so many different stages. But it was the intensity and doing the correct things in that time, and not tolerating things. If somebody said, let's go out to eat, I'd say, I can't. It doesn't align with what I'm focused on right now. And they might be like, oh, you think, and I did have actually somebody who was a friend, and she was like, you think you're so much better than us, and you don't want to drink beer, and we're hanging out in the pool, don't you want to come? And and I was just like, no, I don't want to. And then she would bring stuff, and I was like, I don't want to eat that because I'm trying to be healthy. And then I would resent her for bringing stuff over. So you have to be so focused and put those blinders on, focus on what you need to do, and turn up that intensity. You'll get results much quicker, much, much quicker if you turn up that intensity. Instead of just getting rid of a couple things, go all in. Be like, I'm done with this. I don't care. I'm done. I want freedom. Boom, it's done. And then you'll be like, oh, well, that was easy. What I thought would take me 6 months to declutter in this closet, I did in a day. Okay, yeah, you might go through some withdrawals of like, oh, I'm getting rid of this stuff. But the freedom after that is the goal. It's that after that. You got to get past that point. Don't retreat. Get past that point, and it's just that's the goal. That's what you want to do. Get that freedom, so you have the freedom to live, to choose, to grow, to do everything that God's want you to do, and you're not in bondage, and you're not, stuck in these old habits and old patterns. So, hope you guys have a great day.